legs at the spa today. Last couple leg days I've been going to AFC just because I like a lot of the machines that they have there. Like they have this shoulder, it rests on your shoulders, and it's a squat machine. It's a plate loaded machine, and I really like it, and I can, put 2 plates on it and either side and pound it out for probably, 15 reps or so. And it's the closest thing I find that to replicate an actual squat, like a barbell squat, without actually having to do barbell squats. But I had been doing barbell squats quite a bit for the last little while, and I just decided that I was going to kind of take a break from it. But I might try it today just because it's been probably about 2 leg days since I barbell squatted. My knees are feeling pretty good, and my hips are feeling good and stretched out. So I might, warm up and see how everything's feeling, and I might try and do some barbell squats today. And usually I don't go much, more volume than a 5x5. That's pretty well all I go, and might throw on 2 plates and do it with that weight. But we'll just see how it feels. Not looking to move any serious weight today or hit any PRs or anything like that. But yeah, so, and then other than that, pretty well just gonna do my leg extensions and my hamstring curls and my single leg presses, and if we're feeling a little saucy throughout it, we might do some lunges too. And I always try to do donkey kicks at the end because you gotta isolate your glutes a little bit, and get a stretch quite a bit before I start. And I always try to do that. Like, you always got to do probably about, I try to get like 15 minutes of stretching in, like really good stretching, and stretch out my back too, and my hips and my calves and my quads and my hamstrings. You just got to make sure everything is feeling good. If you're going into a leg day and things are feeling tight, then that's where you can really run into problems. So, and usually before I start my workout at all, I always do just some hamstring curls. I either use the seated machine or I use the laying down machine, and I find it helps me warm up my hamstrings before I start anything, just so I don't have issues, because I've had issues lots of times with pulling a hamstring or my hamstrings cramping up, and it gets pretty sore sometimes. So that's what I usually warm up with, and drinking my pre-workout right now, so that'll get in me. By the time I finish stretching and everything, it'll start to kick in. So so I usually enjoy leg day. I know a lot of people do skip leg day, and it's important not to, because when your legs grow, the rest of your body grows. So that's we're gonna see how it goes and see how stretching feels. So let's see when we're in there. Yeah, not bad. Pretty decent pump. Leg day is complete, and my legs are definitely tired now. Started off, did about 15 minutes of stretching. That was pretty good. Just there's this big machine they have there, and I had the, leg up probably about belly button height, and just make sure that stretches out my hamstrings pretty good. And then I did some, had my leg up behind me with my ankle up on the bench, and that just kind of stretches out my quads and kind of try and rotate your hip forward, and it stretches out your hips good. And then seated splits and trying to lean forward, and I can get my elbows on the ground and really stretch out my hips some more, and rolled out my back and tried to stretch out my lats a little bit too, because my shoulder mobility is not great too, so getting the bar, being able to hold the bar in a half decently narrow grip whenever I'm squatting, I got to make sure I get my shoulders stretched out good. So squats weren't too bad. I started off with some seated hamstring curls. I have that in the video. And squats, they felt pretty good warming up, but I did my third set of 225 for 5. It was all right. It was moving all right, but I just wasn't liking how they felt 100% today. So I decided to just call it quits at 3 sets. So that's a big thing in the gym, is knowing when to stop. A lot of people might say, it's pinching a little bit, but I'll try to power through it. But that is a good way to get injured. And I've had enough injuries, especially with my legs and, my flexor area, my adductors and stuff, that I know when I'm not feeling 100% for another set, so I'll stop. So then moved into the other machine squats. Actually loaded 3 plates on there, and the last set that I had, I did 4 sets, and that was the last one of 10, and that was moving pretty good. And what did I do after that? Then did hamstring curls. That was my last set of 10. I think I did, I almost got to 10. They were getting pretty tight towards the end then. I just ate 80 doing that. And then went into the leg extensions. And the leg extensions were actually feeling really good today. Like that last set I had 200, and I think I got it for 12, and then some partials, or did a hold at the end. My camera's just flopping all over the place. I just pulled in my driveway. And so I did after the leg extensions. Then I went in and did some of the donkey kicks for your glutes, and that was really good. Like I had 90 pounds in that, and good sets of 10, and hold it at the last one, so you get a pretty good squeeze out of that. And then some calf raises. I finished it off with calf raises. So I was feeling pretty good today. It was not a bad leg day. So my legs are definitely, my hamstrings are a spot where I definitely need to grow a little more growth. And I think I usually try to do a little bit of RDLs every once in a while, whether it be dumbbells or barbells. So I'm gonna try and incorporate that in a little more, just to kind of work out the entire hamstring. And so not too bad. I had lots of water during that workout. Made sure I was staying hydrated. Have a meal now and go to the Gold Cup tonight. So it's gonna be a long night, and legs should feel pretty good tomorrow.